Elon Musk has always been very vocal about his dreams to build cities on Mars, and with his latest venture through SpaceX called Starship, he might actually be getting much closer to his goal than we think. Suit up everyone, the future of space travel is coming! Welcome to Tech Heaven, and in this video we'll be taking a closer look at the technology behind SpaceX's new rockets. Elon Musk's ambitious space company SpaceX has had a pretty good run in 2021, launching mission after mission, and all of them pretty much successful, and it looks like 2022 is going to be no different. The basic founding ethos that drives the company and the company's CEO is to make cities on Mars someday. Well, we can't really expect to do that without spaceships to take us there now, can we? In order to be a spacefaring civilization and a species that can move from one planet into the other, it is important that we have the right vehicles to take us there. This is the very thing that SpaceX has so focused its attention and resources on. SpaceX has now developed a space vehicle that could quite possibly be a game changer for space travel. The vehicle is called Starship and will be a fully reusable transport system that is reported to be able to carry a total of 100 people to the red planet, Mars. Let's take a closer look into the new rocket from SpaceX. At its launch, the spacecraft was called Starship, and it sits on top of the rocket that has been named Super Heavy. Clever play on words right there. The combined system of the two of these has been called Starship, and it stands tall at 120 meters or 394 feet. The vehicle is made stainless steel, and it bears a close resemblance to rocket ships from the golden ages of science fiction. This doesn't come as a shock, because most of everything that Elon Musk seems to come out with, whether it's his Tesla Cybertruck or the alien-looking astronautical wear that he launched for the Dragon mission, they all seem to be heavily inspired by sci-fi and old movies that had their versions of what the future would look like. It has massive nose cones and landing fins. At its rear, it has 6 highly efficient Raptor engines. These engines have painstakingly been developed by SpaceX over the course of a decade. Well, all good things take time, and this surely stands true for the Starship. When the combustion takes place, it takes place in stages, and the design of the engine is able to cut back on the amount of propellant that's wasted. The middle of the vehicle has propellant tanks. These propellants feed liquid methane and liquid oxygen to the Raptors. It is in fact the combination of the methane and oxygen which gives the chemical reaction that will then cause the fuel to burn. Methane is known to generate plenty of thrust, and the fact that this is being used for the Starship just shows that SpaceX knows their stuff really well. It is not the most common choice of fuel for rocket engine, but it works well here. It also is a very careful and strategic choice when it comes to Musk's plans and designs that he has for Mars. The CEO has said that methane could possibly be synthesized from Martian subsurface water, as well as the atmospheric carbon dioxide, using the chemical process that is popularly known as Sabatier reaction. It is the process that they are relying on to fuel up the Starship for the return trip to Earth. Using these Martian resources allow them to achieve a level of self-sufficiency which would make the journey to and from Earth to Mars very self-sufficient and cost-effective. At the front of the spacecraft, or also known as the upper stage of the spacecraft, there is a huge payload compartment that can be used to haul large cargo and people to destinations deep in space. Now that is some very futuristic planning right there. When it comes to the rocket part of the spacecraft, this is where things get very interesting. Known as Super Heavy, it measures at around 230 feet long and can be filled with up to 3,400 tons of cryogenic or chilled methanol, that is the combination of methane and oxygen. The rocket is supposed to be lifted by 32 Raptor engines and is believed to be able to achieve more than 70 meganewtons of maximum thrust. If it really is able to do all of this, then this will mean that Super Heavy is much more powerful and immense than the Saturn V launcher that was used for the Apollo missions all the way back in the 60s and the 70s. Trust Elon Musk to push boundaries and break records. By the way, if you're watching us for the first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can enjoy our future videos while getting updated. Getting back to the topic, the engineers have craftily designed the spacecraft in such a way that when it is ready to land, the ship will re-enter the atmosphere at a 60-degree angle, and from there it is supposed to belly flop on the ground in a horizontal position. This may seem far-fetched and comical, but the engineers have made it so. Long gone are the days when they would rely on parachutes and landing mechanisms for a runway for the rockets. Honestly, that's exactly what we'd expect SpaceX to do. This mode, however, will heavily rely on the atmosphere itself, so that it will be able to slow down the descent of the vehicle. The vehicle has 4 landing flaps made of steel, positioned near the front as well as the end so that the descent can be properly controlled. The concept is similar to skydiving, when the diver uses their arms and legs to kind of steady themselves and control the fall. It's basically like doing somewhat of a controlled fall. Keeping true to his vision, Musk has stated that the spacecraft will be used for long-haul trips that will be made between Earth and Mars and should take up to 9 months each way. He's now looking to install about 40 cabins in the payload area right near the front portion of the upper stage for this very purpose. The founder has stated that they could have around 5 to 6 people per cabin at the highest capacity. It would prefer to see only 2 to 3 people doing so. That's why they have set the estimate to around 100 people per flight for the trip to Mars. Along with the cabins, the payload area is also expected to have a common area, storage space, a galley, and also a shelter in the event that people would need to take shelter in during the solar storms. You thought storms only happen here on Earth? Well, guess again. SpaceX has even said that because the payload capacity is so big, it could open up other possibilities like robotic science missions, telescopes, and more. Starship is expected to play a huge part in the Artemis program by NASA, which is seeking to establish long-term human life and presence on the moon. The company was even awarded a whopping $2.89 billion worth of contract to develop the Starship into something that was capable of landing and delivering astronauts to the lunar surface during this very decade. The money was given by the US Space Agency themselves, and SpaceX will surely make good use of the money and any capital that they can possibly get their hands on. If developed successfully, this system could actually be used for space tourism and high-speed journeys between the Earth and various other destinations in space. The Starship could eventually be carrying people to destinations even like the greater solar system and big gas giants like Jupiter, but then again, that would remain as the long-term dream. All in all, we have a lot to look forward to with the new SpaceX rocket. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. What do you think about the Starship, and would you want to travel in it? Let us know in the comments. Like this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you in the next video.